The Fizzy lots is quite a strange connection. Originally, I'd given up biking for a little while. I mean, I'd ridden twist and go bikes and what have you over the years, but I got my 404 back sometime about 7 or 8 years ago and found I enjoyed riding. We're obviously finding people you could ride with locally because they've all passed me by now. But my daughter, for some bizarre reason, with no sort of biking experience apart from going back and forth to school on my wife's C90, decided to get a Fizzy and got herself attached to some forums and what have you for help and advice. From that point, I went down to where she was living and had a little look at the Fizzy, and it was quite a nice little looking bike. And from thereafter, through the daughter's connection, I found out there was rallies and that they held. So fortunately or unfortunately, the first rally I could get time off to go to was going to be held in Belgium. So at that point, I didn't have a Fizzy, but the only small bike that maybe was compatible to the area I had was a Honda ST70 monkey bike. So I made my way out to Belgium, met her and buddies I'd never met before in Spa, and then kind of tagged on to them. Those mad buggers, for some bizarre reason, had ridden across through France to Spa, but I took the easy option. I lashed the monkey bike on the back of a motor caravan, and I drove straight out there and met up with them.
When I was a kid, I was really into bikes, and my mum used to take me to my nan's on the back of a Honda 90, and I kind of thought that when I grew up I'd get a bike myself. But somehow along the way I never learnt to ride a push bike, so it was a bit of a non-starter. Then as an adult, it's a bit weird, but my husband taught me how to ride a push bike, literally holding on to the back of it like a kid. So I learnt to ride a bike when I was in my 20s, late 20s, and I got the idea again that it'd be cool to have a motorbike, but I didn't have a licence, and my dad pointed out that with my car licence I could actually ride a moped. And now to me moped meant twist and go, and I thought, well, that's a bit naff, I'm not interested. But he introduced me to the concept of the sport moped, particularly that I should look into it, particularly the Fizzy, because that was kind of cool. And I was a bit dismissive, but I went on eBay and started looking around, and they just looked like little motorbikes. The 70s ones, they were so beautiful, they were such lovely machines. I couldn't afford a 70s one, I ended up with an 80s one, and it's still a nice looking bike. When I got it, I had no experience really of riding a bike, and it hadn't been looked after, so one of the first things I did was have this slightly terrifying 10-mile ride round to one of the guys from one of the Fizzy forums, round to his house. It was absolutely revving its nuts off. It was because the carburetor was set up completely wrong. I didn't know how to deal with that at the time. So I was riding very stiffly, bike revving its nuts off, police car behind me, very nervous, making hand signals the whole way because none of the electrics works properly. But through getting that bike, I met this bunch of people who were part of the forum. Like there's various Fizzy groups out there, but I met a bunch of people who are quite local to me, and they really helped me fix the bike, get it running, and I started going on events. The first event I tried to go on was at the Ace Cafe, and it all went horribly wrong. I got lost, which I tend to do. I broke down about 4 times, and this is only like 15, 20 miles from my house, but I kept breaking down. It was raining, it was freezing cold. I ended up limping the bike home, running upstairs, jumping in the bath, warming up because I was so cold, jumping on a train. Just got to the Ace Cafe just in time to see a bit of blue smoke disappear in the distance. I missed the event, but actually being at the Ace Cafe, there's always lovely bikers around because it turns out that bikers are really nice people. So I had a good time anyway, but I didn't manage to talk to anyone from the Fizzy people.